is this thing on thing that we go through.
I know. It's really quite fun here at the Great Northern Sex Cast, but it's a bright, sunshiny day.
Yes.
At the Great Northern Sex Cast. So I am... That has put me in a good mood, even though there's enough pollen out there to take out an elephant. Now, I'm not allergic to anything,
aren't you?
But it's irritating.
Oh,
and
really?
Then I get congested, and then I'm like, I'm so sleepy.
Yeah.
But I've seen the folks out there that are just dripping, and they're barely leaving their house, and I feel for them.
Yeah. It's funny.
You can't feel sexy if you're sneezing all the time and feeling like hell.
Yeah. Well, mine. I am allergic, but actually mine have calmed down in the last couple days. I feel like awesome, but happy spring, man. It was time. It was harder in this year. I mean, we had all of winter in 1 month.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I have not put away my snow shovel or my salt yet because that does not go. I ceremoniously on May 1st.
Is that when you do it?
Bring everything into the garage.
Okay.
I'm willing to risk it, even though technically we can still have a frost up until like May 15th. But I don't think we're going to have anything that I need to shovel after May 1st. So at least I fucking hope
and you're
not
a politician, so
no.
Yeah. So you found a story today. I'm going to let you start because this I saw this just as I was heading over here, and I didn't. You just rock and roll.
Okay, this is from the New York Times.
Okay,
and the title of it is "Here Are Things Not to Put in Your Vagina."
And thank you for thinking of us.
The author of this is Jen Gunther. Okay. It's almost a year old, but I was really fascinated by it because I really liked her writing style. And
we've done stories of hers before. Yes. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And this is the part that I really liked. There was a sentence in here. I'll find the sheet here. It says. This is how lemon juice, ouch, yogurt, garlic, double ouch, cucumber, oregano oil, super mega ouch are finding their way into vaginas worldwide. No, you are not reading a recipe for tzatziki sauce.
She's great.
And that was spectacular. And we've talked about, things not to put in your butt, things not to put in your vagina. But I have to admit, maybe I missed it, but I've never heard that people were women, because, I guess there are some vagina owners putting garlic in it. I mean, I am half Italian. I love me some garlic. But I've never, ever, ever, while making Sunday gravy, looked at the garlic and said, "Do you know where I should put this?" No. Well, but so there were like 5 things that she put on here, and I'm just going to go over them real quick. It was like, run if something's being sold. Run if the recommendation is homeopathic products. Run if the advice relies on testimonials. Run if it involves inserting food vaginally for health reasons. And run if they recommend vaginal cleaning of any kind. It's a self-cleaning organ. Yeah. But the garlic I'm like, seriously? I mean, all the other stuff, but somehow, maybe because of my Italian heritage, the garlic just blew my mind when I read this morning.
There's so many questions here, but, once again, part of the reason why people, use stuff to clean there and put things in there is for smell. So why would you put something that's notoriously stinky?
I know.
I mean, counterintuitive much?
Yeah, it's very, very fascinating. So I sent it to Megan, and she'll put it up. And she writes a column for the New York Times. And this is a little bit, but I'm just like, there's been a lot of things that people put in their ass lately that that they don't do. And there are other places in your body that just don't put things there. It's self-cleaning, and you certainly do not want food up there.
No,
not at all.
I'm with you, Colleen. I am.
Garlic just blew my mind.
Let's start with a in-flight asshole, shall we? And it's a woman this time. This was a flight from Orlando to Newark. She never made it to Newark though, because she got removed. So long story short, she wouldn't comply, turn off the cellular device, as we all are told to do every time we fly. So what makes her special? Unclear. And she was yelling at flight attendants, and some of the passengers understandably were like, "Hey, come on," that sort of thing. And so she starts getting louder, and then out came other cell phones to record, and there she was off. Record all you fucking want, and you can see this if you look it up. At one point, a fellow passenger yells, "Oh, so proud to be trashy. I love this." And she's like, "Come fight me, bitch. Do something." Then she drops her pants and starts twerking.
So I don't know whether, because it's originated in Florida, we can change this to Florida woman. In my opinion.
I forgot the Florida connection.
Yeah, that's going through there. So there is that. And, I love me some twerking. I mean, honestly, it's not.
I can't do it.
It's not a new thing. I'm not sure that I have the knees and the hips to do it anymore. I'm pretty sure I shook my ass a lot dancing when I could in the 80s and 90s, especially in heels. I think it's a lot easier to twerk or do some stuff if you're not trained in heels. You got your butt's already at an angle.
Yeah.
And, hell, Lizzo, she's an artist that's from here and it has like a #1 album right now. That woman can twerk. More,
See,
yeah.
I need to go to a twerking class.
But I'm just fascinated how one manages to twerk. I mean, in an airplane. I mean, that honestly is a skill level. I mean, there's not a lot of room in some movement.
I'm thinking that other people were non-consensually twerked on. That's the only possible explanation.
And it's always fascinating that people, when they're being assholes, tend to be assholes in a way that veers into sexuality, which doesn't help the cause of sexuality is ordinary. And it's not, not something to be afraid, but when someone gets drunk and gets naked or gets high and gets naked or does all this stuff and gets naked, we have such a hang up on it that it makes the getting, naked part, like seem worse than it is. Mm-hmm.
Well, later on in the sex cast, I'll give you a very inappropriate naked. Okay. But let's go to Suzanne Summers naked. And
oh God, what's she up to? She had her Thigh Master. She's had some diet books.
Yep.
She's a rather fun interview, but I haven't heard of her for quite a while. What's she up to?
No, well, she put I think it was Instagram, and she put her best life, sort of thing up, a picture of her in this outdoor tub that she has. And she posted a photo that said, "Nice way to enjoy the daisies blooming on the mountain." This is, she's in Palm Springs. Happy super bloom. And she was seemingly sans naked, but covered, holding a mug. And, some people got on, some trolls, and started saying, don't care to see a 76-year-old in a tub. This is totally inappropriate. And here came her fans to the rescue. First of all, she's 72. Not that it matters. She's an icon living her best life. And then appropriately and thankfully, a lot of other people came to her defense. But what, if you don't like something like that, unfollow.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, what makes people so unhappy that they have to dump all over other folks?
I know.
I mean, it really, it's going through there. I mean, there are lots of fandom. People do this for movies and for TV and for interest and for cooking, whatever. Someone says, "I don't like beets," and then you have to tell someone they're an asshole for not liking beets. They're allowed to not like beets.
Yeah.
Or someone says, "I love the old Tony Danza films." Well, fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's going through there, and it's just the ability to just shit on something that someone likes does not particularly. I don't comprehend it. I mean, honestly, I'd love to be able to sit in a tub, outside, and look at some daisies in Palm Springs, because they got a crap ton of, they got a lot of rain this winter.
Yeah.
Which means they are having a floral bloom in parts of the country that only happens every couple of decades.
Yeah, they don't get it very often.
It has to be effing gorgeous. And I'm like, or they just, don't like the fact that someone's having a nice day.
Yeah.
Fuck off, trolls.
You remember Alan Hamill? That's who she's married to. And they've been married 40 years. And that outdoor tub was a gift from him. And she noted that they still go on dates at least 3 times a week and have sex every day, sometimes more. Good for them.
Good for that. I do. I mean, there are a lot of things that certain generations didn't understand and have screwed up. But I really do like the fact that baby boomers are just are owning sex, are going to have sex a very long time, and they have less of an idea of I'm old now. Celebrating more. I'm not dead now, and I keep wanting to do stuff. I mean, this is why folks are having 2 and 3 knee replacements, because they want to keep moving.
Which fine,
yeah, and just go through there. I love. Good for her.
Well, there's a lot of other stuff that, is, but if you want another knee so that you can go do more stuff and it keeps you happy. Oh my God. I saw a guy interviewed on TV last night who was 92 years old. He's a World War II veteran. He looked like he was like late 60s and spoke like, I could not believe that. And I'm like, if you're going to live to be that long, I hope for everybody that they can be as lucid. I mean, I could not get over how youthful this man was.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. So obviously, aging well. I love that sort of stuff because he must have been fairly young if he was in World War II at
18.
Yeah.
He was 18.
Yeah. And I find that stuff sort of fascinating because I like the idea of old.
Yeah.
It means you're not, in an urn somewhere or 6 feet under.
Yeah.
Or as they're going to do in the state of Washington, I think they're going to allow, for lack of a better term right now, because I can't think of it, human composting. They're going to allow spots where bodies can simply decompose and be turned into soil, which I think is spectacular because I don't really understand why I need a $5,000 coffin and all those extra formaldehyde chemicals pumped into me and then put it, I mean, human beings rotted on this planet for hundreds of thousands of years before we decided to preserve
create
them.
an industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. First of all, yes, the term does sound shocking, but I've never been cool with the cost of funerals, the whole, thing. So my family, pretty much family wide, that everybody has wanted to be and has been cremated, but once you get past the factor of that, it actually does make sense, I mean, especially, this is going to sound equally strange, but if they strip me for parts, why not?
Yeah.
And if it,
And it's even more ecologically sound than a cremation.
Yeah.
It's just stuff like that. And so that sounds awesome. I'm like, same thing, take all the parts you can take from me. I am done
I won't
with
be
them.
using them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. This is, I am very curious to see how you're going to feel about this. So, El Chapo, the Sinaloa drug
it's the guy
lord that is going to be, his actual name is Joaquin Guzman.
I love that name. I don't like what he's done, but Joaquin is a great name.
Isn't Joaquin a great name?
I know.
Yeah, it's a good one. Actually, the whole name kind of flows really well. El Chapo, not so much. Anyway, he signed a contract from his jail cell for a clothing line. And his wife is going to run the company. And she says, well, it's a blend of both of our ideas, a little bit of my style and his. Now, his 29-year-old wife, he's 61, was a beauty queen. And she's had an interest in fashion. And they've got 7-year-old twins. And he's saying, well, I'm trying to provide for my kids. Well, there's the Son of Sam law. And that is the law that prohibits criminals from profiting off of their crimes. And he had to sign all of his, basically rights, if you will, to this LLC. And he said, well, it's to support my family. I don't see how he's famous because he's a drug lord. So how is that not profiting?
Yeah. It's
what do you think?
Yeah. It's because he's in jail in California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really they're probably going to do some lawsuits or something like that.
Yeah.
And, maybe don't get put in jail for drugs and murdering a lot of people. And then,
yeah, I mean,
there's someone that, there's a lot of folks that, smoking a little pot that do not deserve to be in jail because that's just asinine what we've done. But we set up this system where this guy exists.
Yeah.
Just going through there.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't.
We just had 420, and a lot of people were like, I ran a few errands on Saturday, and I passed cars, and we do not live in a state that has legal recreational pot. Yet I smell it all the time now.
Oh yeah.
Go for a stroll around Lake Harriet. I'm driving down Xerxes. The car stopped next to me, and I can smell it coming from the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I know the city of Minneapolis is not going to arrest for small amounts anymore and stuff like that because it's, but it's still, this was not Minneapolis.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm really sensitive to the smell, and I have no judgment on marijuana, but I cannot stand the smell. I mean, it's just so off-putting to me. And I smelled it so strong on this guy that was in front of me in line at a store the other day. And it's just like, dude, you know, I mean, I wanted to tell him,
air it out. You were a walking billboard for illegal activity right now.
Yeah. Papua New Guinea has a problem.
Okay.
A big one.
Well, are they one of the islands that's sinking into the sea? Or is that the Mauritian?
This is more of you could argue that that's self-inflicted, but this is more directly traceably self-inflicted.
Oh, okay.
This is a nationwide epidemic. It's being characterized as of men trying to make themselves larger in the penis area by injecting foreign substances like coconut oil, cooking oil, and silicone right into their units. So over the last 2 years, at least 500 men in that country have been treated for penile disfigurement and dysfunction after attempting this type of enlargement. Side effects are serious and often irreversible. And they come to the hospital with lumpy masses and ulcers that burst open. I mean, it sounds just horrible. And this doctor, actually a surgeon, Akule Dunlop, says, you know, I've dealt with at least 90 men. And he goes, I've seen a few cases now every week for the past 2 years. And I saw 7 today. And he said, you know, this is really bad. And he kind of discusses it. But then he says, basically, I'm summarizing here, he's kind of pissed because he's like, I could be working on people with cancer and removing tumors. Like, knock it off.
I can see that. I mean, when people are the self-inflicted stupidity, and you're just thinking, you know, so this gets around and people start, you know, ye old internet and all that sort of stuff. I mean, the insecurity that men have about their penis needs to stop as much as women's insecurity about their looks and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's just because this is, you know, very detrimental to their health. It's going through there. And it's just like that whole, I mean, honestly, here's some toxic masculinity for you.
Oh, how clever. I like that. That was really good.
Yeah. And I'm saying because you're going through there, this is overwhelming, you know, I'm not sure what it is, where, you know, who started this or what's going through, but that, you know, they've got to stop. And I agree with that doctor. It's a waste of resources.
You'll like this. This is a good foil to the previous story. Jamila Jamil is celebrating cellulite on her upper thighs. She's a 59-year-old actress, and she says she's calling this babe bumps. So she's already had, what did she call the first ones, which were her other stretch marks? They were, she's like, look, these aren't wrong. They're fucking normal. You know, you have kids, you do these things. And so the response to her has been, babe marks were the stretch marks.
Babe marks, yep.
And the cellulite are babe bumps. That's where I confused myself. Anyway, the commenters are just going crazy saying, you were making me love my cellulite and everything else. And she's trying to do the body positive thing. And I love it.
Yeah. I was just never given birth, but I do have a few extra pounds on me. So but a lot of it's genetic because I've got enough pounds on me that you would think that I would have cellulite, but I don't, because it really is sort of genetic, the way the fat goes through the muscle and, you know, the skin and lumps up. Getting some, I've got a few stretch marks because there was a little weight loss and gain and stuff like that. And noticing a few varicose veins as I get older. But for the most part, you know, from what I've read, it's very, very much genetic based. You know, your body's just going to do this, and there ain't jack you can do about it. There isn't bumpy soaps or brushes or anything. I mean, I guess, you know, you can maybe make healthier skin a little suppler or something like that, but really you can't do jack about that stuff.
I don't think so. So this next story, I have a question before I even tell you what happened. It was an incident between a Texas woman, and her quote unquote common law husband. To get the term, and they say specifically common law husband, not boyfriend, partner.
I wonder how many places they still have that. I mean, if you're together for so long, the state, I mean, you know, does that really?
And it's usually a couple years. She's 20. So to have someone characterized as your common law husband and you're only 20, WTF, people. Okay, anyway, so that put me into a weird spot. Doesn't say how old he is. But Lizeth Guadalupe Ramirez was arrested late Tuesday after this is in Laredo, a domestic incident where neighbors called police. She told investigators that her common law husband tried to strangle her. And he said, no, actually, we went to the movies last night and she apparently asked me if she looked pretty. I didn't hear her, didn't answer fast enough. She got mad. We left. We came home and she, all the way home, she was smacking me and kept hitting me. And I was trying to defend myself. So now she's charged.
He probably has some bruises.
And fishing for compliments never ends well.
No, it does not. It just
doesn't.
No, and I'm pretty sure. I'm like, oh, geez, because I hear things wrong all the time. So that I would be in deep, deep trouble if I was in a relationship with someone like that.
Yeah, yeah. So you're sitting in your house, and an SUV crashes into your yard, right? That's bad enough. But then the man gets out of the car naked and comes up to your house and just starts walking around. Police were told that they reached the scene after residents said a naked man they did not know was wandering through their house.
Through the house? They went into the house?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, they were out shopping when he crashed into the yard, and then he helped himself. He went in naked.
If someone managed to crash into my house, that would be a little tough. It's up a little bit, got a couple garden beds and all that sort of stuff. And so I'm pretty sure that you'd have to really maneuver up to a driveway or so. That would be tough.
Well, police...
Sorry, I'm just trying to envision and then naked guy wandering. Yeah.
Based on the fact that no clothes were found at the scene or in the car, police speculate that he was already naked when he crashed the vehicle. He has been charged with criminal trespassing, reckless endangerment, disorderly conduct, and wait for it, DUI. He's being held on bond. So.
And once again, see, nudity is getting a bad rep here. I mean, I'm not even sure. I mean, it's just like the guy's name. I mean, the other things are so much more important, like the DUI, other than nude or crashing a car. The nude should be, but people tend to focus on the nude.
Well, crashing a car into a building and getting caught in someone's house is moderately interesting because it's unusual. But then you throw naked in there and it's fucking irresistible. I mean, come on. And he's naked. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. That just puts it right over the edge.
I mean, honestly, if he'd been wearing
a tutu,
or
still be entertaining.
Or a Dalmatian, Dalmatian Halloween costume, or any, see, that would make it more interesting to me.
Yeah, but still, it's far more entertaining than Dockers and a golf shirt. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Any of these other items, now you've got my attention. I hate to say it. I'm a schlub. Speaking of naked, let's go to Eau Claire, Wisconsin for a moment, which quite honestly is not that far from here.
No, about an hour and a half.
So chaos descended on an Eau Claire, Wisconsin Walmart after a karate performing mother, her naked son, and their belligerent dog shoplifted and ran amok.
I like the fact that the dog is belligerent.
Belligerent dog. Well, the dog, by the way, okay.
So in other words, okay, one, this is Walmart, which is just entertaining. But so what we've got here is a mom who is going to steal and decides that if their child is naked and their dog is being belligerent, that will distract from the fact that she's stealing. Okay. But personally, I think it would draw attention to the fact that, so the whole thought process here, I think, started off poorly.
Okay, child is not an accurate depiction. The child was a 26-year-old son. So she is running around stealing with the dog. The dog is bugging shoppers, okay?
And then so the distraction is the naked 26-year-old.
Well, then he goes over, strips off his clothes, and starts putting on brand new Walmart clothes with the intention of not paying for them, right? Well, then she tries to flee the crime scene. The dog snatches a box of Jiffy cornbread muffin mix, of all things, and he tries to get out the door.
I used to love that. I mean,
oh God, everybody ate that when they were kids.
I know. That still exists.
So the dog.
Now, see, now I'm gonna have to put that on my shopping list.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The dog, bails out the door. She's running after the dog. Then the cops are out there. So then she starts doing kung fu moves to fend off the police officers. The dog was apprehended, not charged, but he was taken to the Humane Association.
I was about to say, I don't think that these family really should be allowed to have a dog.
The mother charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and misdemeanor bail jumping. The son facing charges of lewd and lascivious behavior, disorderly conduct, and retail theft. And again, Bo was not charged.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, see, that's where, Naked does enhance that story. It's going through there because it was used for the distraction purposes from the other stuff. So
because we all look at it, right? It gets everybody's attention. Mm-hmm. This is so interesting. So prom season is coming.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. This Utah high school girl, she took an entrepreneur class, and her name is Hannah Rogers, and she designed a website that eases, quote unquote, stress for seniors or people looking for dates to prom. She came up with the idea called Been Asked after taking this class, and they said, find a solution to a real life problem. Mm-hmm. So she said, well, it's chaotic for students to navigate between who had and had not been asked. Mm-hmm. So basically you could go up to this website and see everybody's name, and they would check off who's already going.
Yeah, who's already going.
Yeah. And so it's only her high school right now. And it's people who agreed to participate and have their names published. And so
that seems more like an ego boost. Yeah, I got asked.
Well,
but it's sort of nice too. I mean, considering the fact how vast promposals are right now.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know how well this would work here, because from what I've seen for years, people you don't need a date anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just don't. You go as a group, or there's a date. It's a hell of a lot. Yeah, it's casual as hell. I mean, my daughter's going, all I've asked this year is, could we have less of a clusterfuck for photos? Could you just have way too many teenagers and parents roaming around, like someplace like, I mean, oh God, have you ever seen it? Like there's a sculpture garden in Minneapolis, and I was wandering down there one Saturday, and there were hundreds of kids in formal wear, and then of course a zillion fucking parents.
Oh yeah.
And how do you get like a decent photo when there's a zillion people behind you? The whole thing was, really, clusterfuck is the only way I could think about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, here's the other cool thing.
Okay.
In an effort to help kids that, it's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
All the stuff. Local businesses are offering deals on the website to advertise.
See, there's the lovely entrepreneur. My daughter got a very inexpensive dress, and then it took a fortune to alter it. But the shoes she bought last year actually work with it.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
we're doing so. I mean, but then again, I'm used to that because all dresses are too long for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you got, and it's sort of a stretchy fabric, so you got, a little more work to hem it up and make it, make sure that the leg slit and the cleavage are more appropriate for someone her age versus someone else. Gorgeous. Oh, I'm very excited.
What color is it?
It is a spring red.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That'll look great on her.
Yeah. It's going through there. It's not a fall, there's just this tone under it that's really fucking gorgeous. And then we got these blushy pink shoes that she had last year. Very excited. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is kind of interesting. And I think this disgruntled person kind of has a legitimate gripe.
Okay.
So, this guy on Instagram had his username hijacked by Harry and Meghan Markle in England. It's Sussex Royal. And it was Instagram changed he had Sussex Royal, and it wasn't because he was trying to, get publicity as a royal. He's from West Sussex, and the Royals are his favorite football team. So that was his handle. So they changed his to like underscore Sussex Royal underscore, which is a pain in the ass to say. And he said, if they would have asked me, but they didn't ask me.
They just did it.
And he still currently has the Twitter account, but he's bracing himself. He's like, if they would have talked to me, I would not have maybe been so upset, but what?
Yeah, I'm just sort of figuring out some of the stuff and trying to figure out what people choose for their Twitter handles and Instagram handles and different things is like frustrating as hell. I mean, like underscore, is it half their name? Is it their hobby? It's like, oh my fucking God. I mean, and if you got your picture on there, if you know who you are, I mean, use your damn name.
Yeah.
I honestly sometimes don't take, some folks seriously if they're going to, especially, if I really can't ascertain who's making a comment, then I block them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless I know, it's going through there. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why I have such a decent Facebook experience is the fact that for like 11 years now, 10 years now, whatever the hell it is, I have blocked thousands of people and thousands of websites. So it's exactly the way that I want it to be. I don't see stuff,
Yeah.
And I've been doing it. It's like, I'm not even sure. Like somehow instinct took over as in years ago. I said, you know what? I'm just going to make this person go away because even though I know I'm the product, I'm going to do what I can to make it work for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. I need to do some of that. And just FYI, we're getting pretty darn close to Meghan Markle having their baby. And they launched their official Instagram account recently, and their debut was so popular it took them 5 hours and 45 minutes to get to 1 million, and they're already up to 3.6 million.
I mean, honestly, because it was Sussex Royal. I mean, they could have put Royal Sussex. They could have put in. They could have easily chosen something that did not conflict with this guy.
I know. I think it sucks.
And they probably didn't even do it. I'm sure their offices did it.
Oh, I know. I know. Yeah, because they both seem like decent, nice people. But anyway. Okay. University of Kansas is going to offer a course called Angry White Male Studies next year. It will delve into the history of angry white men, beginning in the U.S. and Britain in the 50s, and work its way all the way up to today. And they will teach how dominant and subordinate masculinities are represented and experienced in cultures undergoing periods of rapid change and blah, 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 blah. And it's causing some controversy. Thoughts?
Well, I'm surprised they started in the 50s. You could pretty much, call it, world history. Western world history is pretty much dominant white male angry dudes. So
that's true.
Yeah, it's going through there. But honestly, a lot of it started, when the beatniks and then it works up to the Voting Rights Act is when it really sort of set off, and they started figuring out how to gerrymander and do some stuff.
Oh, he's nesting.
Yeah,
that's Fred the studio dog trying to meld the couch.
Well, see, he's got his butt sort of in between the two cushions, so it squishes down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then wedged in.
Yeah. He's a nester, and he appears to have the hiccups. Okay.
Oh, God, my cat had a sneezing attack this morning, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he quite knew what the hell was going on. There's occasionally you see, but this was like multiple sneezes, and it was just like, and he was sitting on me. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm getting up now because I'm covered in cat snot.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't too gross. I'm saying it wasn't that much, but still just the idea. I went, oh, yeah, I'm going to jump in the shower now.
Yeah.
But it really, but it was really adorable too. So it sort of counteracted the grossness. That sort of describes sex in general. It's really fun and adorable. It sort of disguises the grossness of the actual.
Yeah, that's true. Because it is disgusting.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of bodily fluid and sweating and that sort of stuff, and then weird angles and if you're doing it right.
And again, like we said at the beginning of the show, it should not involve garlic.
Yeah, and it should definitely not involve garlic.
So Amazon, makes news periodically for, things that they are selling because of all the different stores and things like that. And, this is one, it's a Japanese style sex doll, offered for sale, and it's like bound. It has rope ties around its wrists and ankles and a cloth gag. And a woman went nuts and said, "You're selling a sex doll of a child, tied at the ankles, wrists, chest, and gagged, depicted as helpless and terrified, sold for male sexual use, fitted with fully usable, realistic hairless sex organs." And you know,
that's highly creepy. Yeah.
Well, it can withstand the weight of men weighing up to 380 pounds.
There are just certain. I tend to shy away from any of the products that could lean into looking like kids. It just sort of freaks me out. But the one thing I know that obviously not this company, but there is I got a huge email with a huge list on it the other day, explaining how certain items are not going to be allowed to be sold on Amazon.
Yeah, because
if they're on there, they can't deal with MAP pricing, and they can't and they can't guarantee that it's not a fake product, that it's not a rip. It's going through there.
Oh,
so there's a lot of items. I mean, they're not saying that people can't sell them in their stores, but they're and they can't sell them on their own individual websites that come out of their stock, but they're not allowed to be sold on Amazon. Because what happens is that, let's say I've got I've got the doohickey here, right? Mm-hmm. And I have 10 doohickeys, and I send it to my Amazon store, and it goes to a warehouse somewhere. Well, what happens is that it doesn't stay on a shelf with just my company's name. It gets thrown in a bin with all the other companies who are selling these doohickeys. And so when you reach into that bin, you don't know what company the stock came from.
Oh.
And so if you've got a non-reputable company, they can do knockoff items and send them out.
Oh.
And so in order to try and combat a lot of the knockoff stuff that's happening in the adult industry, a lot of companies are simply saying that their items are not allowed to be sold on Amazon.
That actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's going through there. Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, I was just items after items after item, company after company saying, nope, not allowed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's just out of Amazon, you want to go to individual store sites. I mean, honestly, for a lot of different things. There's been a few things that I've had no choice but to buy from Amazon, but I usually use it for research and then try and find the direct location, so I'm not having Amazon ship, that it's coming from a person or an individual business.
Okay.
And you can really help with a counterfeit product by that way.
I've had good luck with Amazon, but I've had a few things. I got duped pretty badly by an email that was so realistic. It was from a very expensive purse manufacturer that sent a sale email, and it was, I couldn't believe it. It had, they even knew I logged in just like I do with the other one, and I got just an absolute shit product, and it wasn't, wasn't the company. So, and it was really kind of a bugger to fight. My bank was okay with it, but they kept sending me like threatening stuff, and I'm like, you totally lied. Like, you misrepresented yourselves, whatever. It was a pain in the butt. This is like, whatever you think of what's, going on in the United States, there's really weird shit that happens in other countries.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes me really glad I live here. So, this woman, she's actually a British citizen, but she went to Dubai to visit her daughter right after her ex-husband died. So the daughter lived with the stepmom and the dad died. Well, when she got to Dubai, she was arrested over old Facebook posts, 3-year-old Facebook posts, where she called the new wife, are you ready? A horse. And she was facing prison time for this.
Yeah.
Like, terrifying. She got out of it. She's okay. She had to pay like a fine that would have been equivalent in our money to about $800. But God, can you even imagine? And that's not even the worst thing.
Yeah, there are certain places that I just have no interest in ever visiting, because I don't think it's going to be, obviously not in my lifetime, my kids, maybe not even if my child decides to have kids, even my grandchildren lifetimes, that some places get their, decide that women are actually humans.
Yeah. I just really don't want to give him any tourist money.
No, not at all.
Regardless of what interesting stuff may be there. I'm not going. I don't blame you. So just again, another person fell off into the Grand Canyon. That's the third this month. And
there's a segue for you.
Yeah.
But I have been to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
I don't like heights very well. So obviously I never got that close. And this was also long before selfie technology, because I'm guessing a lot of folks are falling into the canyon because of selfies.
Yeah. This woman was in her 70s and she was not on the proper path and she fell to her death. And I'm very sorry to hear that. But
okay, the neighbors, someone has a motorcycle.
Someone has a very,
yes,
robust motorcycle. But, I'm very sorry that this happened, but stay on the fucking trail. I mean, like, really, you're on, hello, it's the Grand Canyon. Well,
and I mean, it's
okay, really?
Really, yeah, someone has a very, honestly,
small something, big motorcycle. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Although, I mean, hell, I really like bikes. I mean, I still have the endorsement on my license, even though I haven't been on a bike in, 15, 16 years.
Really? Did you used to ride?
Oh, yeah. I had a bike. I had a lovely Honda Rebel. It was gorgeous black and chrome little, loved it.
Motorcycles are like works of art.
But it was still too tall for me because I've got really short legs. I never could sit on it flat foot.
Oh,
I see. And then you get the kid. I'm like, what do I do? Bolt a car seat to this bike seat? So that's not going to work. And then it would have taken a lot of money to lower it. So I was more comfortable on it. And so I'm like, it's time to get rid of this. But I still keep the endorsement because every 4 years, it's like $3 of ego building. I passed that fucking test. I can still have the endorsement on my license.
Okay.
Mind you, if I got on a bike, it'd be fucking death for me immediately because I need to take classes again and all this stuff. It's been a long, long time since I've been on one. But, sorry.
You're just having a motorcycle moment?
Yeah, it's having a little motorcycle moment. I do. I was never scared. I respected them. I understood, understood the danger. Loved my bike.
My husband used to have a motorcycle, and he every once in a while gets the urge, and I just really hope he doesn't because I don't trust everybody else. In fact, one of my very good radio friends had to retire from the business because he was riding home on our main freeway, Highway 94, and an improperly secured mattress.
I was say, I think I know. Yeah,
Steve,
mattress.
Came off, and he was on his motorcycle, and he had traumatic brain injury, and he can't work anymore, and he's not the same person. So that stuff is what scares me.
Yeah, like I said, and then no one else I knew at that point had a lot of bikes. A few folks that did, we've all gotten rid of them at this point.
Yeah. Well, I actually mentioned the Grand Canyon, then we got distracted. It never happens here. But
no, not at all.
There's an Instagram couple. They've got this whole they've got a lifestyle travel thing called Paza Travel Tea. So this couple, they met on vacation.
That's not a good name.
Paza Travel Tea?
No, it's not. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Well, they met, and they're full-time travelers, and they're making money. So they're basically making money by posting pictures of themselves in exotic locales to make the rest of us jealous. And so they're getting some backlash for a dangling kissing photo over an infinity pool. And they're responding. It's Kelly Castile and Cody Workman. They're saying they were safe the entire time. There was a pool beneath, blah, blah, blah. But this shit's getting dangerous and people are dying.
Because even if you take all the precautions in the world, obviously the photo doesn't look like that because that's the point of the photo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And some people are dumb.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Going through there. And I just don't, I caught 10 seconds of a radio, something on the radio this morning that says that I don't know which, it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Someone's going to change it to where you can't see how many likes something has so that it doesn't feed this or something like that. Only the person who, who's posted it can see it or something. Or they're just trying to come up with some different rules so that, people aren't, doing things just for likes, because if someone else can't see how many likes you have, then it's not, it's not feeding.
It kind of deflates it.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't understand. And, hey, good for you. I'm all about the capitalism aspect of being able to make a career to fund nothing but travel. But it's kind of a Kardashian-esque sort of thing to me. I don't really want to watch other people vacationing. I want to fucking vacation myself.
Yeah. Especially complete strangers. I am thrilled when my friends go places, because I can travel vicariously through. That's fine. I know these people.
Yeah.
And we also have similar senses of humor. So when they find a weird sign or a strangely designed bedroom, or like, what the hell is going on in this, old ruin, we have we understand why they thought this was funny or bizarre, and they share that. But have I followed complete strangers on their trip? No. I mean, I do follow some chefs and some actors and stuff like that, because they do live lives that are a little bit different than mine. Mm-hmm. And so it's sort of fun. But but once again, I follow folks where I've seen a comment and I said, okay, I think we share a similar sense of humor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just because they're famous, or not just because, or this, it's like, okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
And then I look at a few more things and I go, oh yeah, I think we could have a beer together, because even if they're curating it to a sense that matches my sense of humor.
Yep. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
But randomly go to Instagram, put in hashtag travel mountains and look at, no, that's not going to happen.
No, not for me either. Mm-mm. No. Well, we'll be back next week.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not traveling anywhere between there. Although my journey home now takes half hour to 45 minutes, and I only live 3.5 miles from the office, because they have a France Avenue bridge torn down, so it just takes forever to get.
Yeah, how long is that going to be?
Until August.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I am spending. I'm doing a lot of commuting, for a very short distance.
Wow.
So that's what. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to find more podcasts and stuff to listen to.
Okay.
So this would be great. Yeah, we're perfect length for a commute.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.